There are a lot of steps along the way, but I think it comes down to a simple principle. Paul in Romans 11 laid the principle, or 1 Corinthians 11 laid the principle down. It's this: be ye followers of me as I am of Christ. Through the years, I've tried to exalt Christ. I told you we're going through John. Look, we've been through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and in the early years, once through John. Why? Why is that important? Why is it important? Because you need to see Christ. You need to see Him in all His beauty, in all His magnificence, in all His glory. You need to see Him as the God-man living in the world because He's your example. So it comes down to this. It doesn't come down to some formula. And I grew up, in a day when there were a whole lot of little formulas about how to be spiritual and how to be a leader. You can read all that useless stuff about wild at heart and, go into the mountains and kill an animal and you live in the wilderness and that'll make you a man. That won't make you a man at all. It certainly won't make you a godly man to isolate yourself like that. What makes you a man is to be Christ-like. He's the perfection of what it is to be a man. He's also the perfection of what it is to be faithful to God. He's perfection of what it is to be a leader, a spiritual leader with an impeccable life. And so the pursuit is to be like Christ. And Paul says it, be followers of me as I am of Christ. So study Christ, come to know Christ. That's why even as far as Paul had gone along in his life, he said that I may know Him, that I may know Him, that I may know Him. I don't think you can ever rise higher than your understanding of Christ and your affection for Him. Yeah, we said that a few weeks ago in a message kind of comparing Peter and Judas. Remember that? And what separated them was Peter's love for Christ. His love for Christ. Cultivate that. Cultivate that by knowing Christ. You know Him in His Word. It's not mystical. It's coming to know everything about Him that you can in His Word. I just got a page proofs for a compilation book that I'm very thankful for. I've always wanted to do this. It's called One Perfect Life, The Complete Story of the Lord Jesus. And what it is a blended harmony of the Gospels. You can open it up and you can read the harmony of the four Gospels all together, the story of Christ in its blended sequence. The full story, not like typical harmonies are in columns. You can see what Matthew said and Mark and Luke and John in columns, but this is all blended in one story. You read it like a narrative. And I read it all the time because I can never get enough of the majesty of Christ in every issue in life that He faced. And so I think, the more Christ-like I am, the better man I am, and the better leader I am, and the better discipler I am. That to me is the key. Okay?